Hi. So overall, I think this video does work for me. I was immediately intrigued by the topic, as this symbol is something most young adults are familiar with. Like the video mentioned, many people drew this in elementary or middle school. As a Brooklyn native going to school in the early 2000s, I remember drawing this myself. My boyfriend, who grew up in Florida around the same time, also remembers the symbol as something he drew growing up and even said, the S with the lines. Not only was this video something that was very relatable, it was also very entertaining. Even though there was quite a bit of decorative graphics as seen in right over here, and as well as around here, also throughout the entire video, there were bits of this in and out. So even though Mayer and Clark say to steer clear or to use these very minimally, I think that it was still used very successfully as it's mixed throughout graphics that carry useful information. The creator uses graphics which follow the multimedia principle, such as the map that you can find here. I believe that the use of the map shows the development of the research really well, and it's an organizational graphic. So the use of this is really powerful because it shows how widespread the use of this S symbol is around the world, as well with the theatrical music, which adds a comical element and really adds to how entertaining the video is. More examples of graphics that present data to the viewer you can see around here. This graph shows the use of the symbol throughout the world and in each country. He also points out that this data is taken from websites that are used mostly in these countries, and that's probably why it's so highly rates so high in these three countries. This can also be seen here in this graph, which shows the relational graphic, which shows the relationship between the number of sightings per decade and over time. The use of these two graphs show how the symbol is used internationally and throughout time, and I think Tufte would appreciate these elements as an informational video. There are moments such as here, went too far. Yeah, so there's a use of these text along with audio, which technically go against the redundancy principle, but I think it still works for me because it's so minimal and the font and style seems really thoughtful and image-like. There's also the use of these lists, which go along with audio and also go against the redundancy principle, but serve a purpose to represent how vast the data is. So I don't think you're actually expected to read these things. It's just to show you how many different words come up with this symbol. Overall, I think the video was really successful at sharing the data and keeping the viewer engaged and using certain principles successfully to do so. Even though the creator didn't strictly follow one principle as like a set of strict rules to follow, it was very successful as an informational source. And I think that because it wasn't done so strictly, that's what made it so successful, because it didn't rigidly follow one set of rules, but took what worked from each different set.